على محمد وآل محمد
ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dearest mu'mineen, lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, Muntazireen of our holy Imam, Azadaran of Imam Hassan, it is my honor to look upon your bright faces and have a chance to spend this time with you in these discussions that are taking place in Ayam Azab. We gather on the Farsh Azab and we hold these majalis. And the purpose of these majalis is manifold, but the one primary thing it will do is it will connect you to the zuhur of your Imam. That means that Azadari is the best way to prepare for his coming, which means whatever preparations you have been doing, continue them, but know that the Azza of Imam Hussain is the ultimate way to prepare. It's because he is coming to avenge the martyrdom of the Shuhada of Karbala. He's coming to avenge the martyrdom of Imam Hussain. And if we do not understand what was lost in Karbala, what was lost in Medina, what was lost before that, then we will not understand his coming. We will not understand the vengeance that is coming. We will not understand the sword that will be unsheathed. We will not understand the blood that will be shed, because the holy war is always upon us. Jihad ul-Akbar, which we are always doing in preparation for Imam. The topic that was given to me was Khutbah Shikshikiyah, Najul Balagha sermon number 3. It is a famous sermon in which Amir al-Mu'mineen is talking about the caliphate and how it was usurped from him. And so I will be talking about that, but of course it's the first time I have the opportunity to come to your wonderful city. I have, of course, heard much about this place, and when I used to follow the NBA 30 years ago, then I knew there was a... Don't ask me about anything else in the last 30 years, but before that, yes, I still remember some things. And so I remember there was a team here, the Spurs, and I remember the players 30 years ago. God knows who's there now. I could name off the players at that time, the startup line. And so that's all I knew about this place, but now I have the opportunity to come, so it is my great honor. And I'm so thankful that you have been so welcoming and so loving, and what a wonderful community we have here. And it just shows you that, it is the miracle of Karbala, that even today, wherever you go, these holy names are upon the walls. The alam of Mawla Abul Fadl Abbas is everywhere. It was one standard in Karbala, and now that one standard is in every house of every mu'min, in every city of the world. And this is our symbol. A standard and a little mushk with that standard, and this becomes our holy symbol. The khutbah shikshikiyah starts off with, it wasn't a typical khutbah, first of all. So it was said to be given in Kufa. It was said to be given in one of the sahns of the masjid. And it was said to be given in answer to a question. And the question was about the caliphate and how the caliphate was usurped and how it was taken away, and how Amir al-Mu'mineen finally, after 25 years, he comes and Haqq comes into the right place after 25 years. So it was about that. He had only spoken 15 or 20 lines when he was interrupted, and so then the khutbah stopped there. Ibn Abbas even came up to Amir al-Mu'mineen and said, please continue, because the eloquent flow that was coming from him was magnificent, but he did not continue it, and he said that it was a fire that was kindled and now it has been put out. So there were a few things that he said at that time. Amir al-Mu'mineen has not talked much about the rights that were usurped from him. He always talked about Tawheed, he talked about Risalat, he talked about the holy, the Imamat, and about himself and really what happened to him. You will find it only once in a while. And you'll see that the first line, he says, Ama wallahi laqad. Even the first 3 words are saying that, when we translate Ama, it translates into lo and behold. These are not terms we use anymore to stress things. When you stress things, if you look at ancient literature, if you look at English literature from Shakespearean days, or if you go back to look at the Bible and you see how it was written, you will see words like lo and behold in English. and laqad. And all these words in Arabic, and the Quran has them, we don't use them anymore because we don't stress our words with that same eloquence. I don't know what's happening nowadays, but what I notice is with the young ones is that when we want to stress something, we just say bro. So when we say bro, that's like now we're stressing something. And of course, bro wasn't very eloquent. So at that time, they had much higher forms and words to use. So they said things like, ama wallahi laqad. And then he goes on to say, taqammassahu. In Urdu we say qamis. And qamis from Arabic as well, so it's a garment, it's a cloth, it's a shirt that you wear. So Amir al-Mu'mineen is saying that Ibnu Fulanin. The original text says Ibnu Fulanin, it doesn't include the name. Later on text also you'll see in translations, now we're a little bolder, so the name is written out there. But there you'll see that in the most original text I could find, it said Ibnu Fulanin. Although it's very obvious who's being talked about, so it was not like anything was hidden. It was very, very straightforward and obvious. And he said that he donned the garment of caliphate. And when he said he donned the garment, taqammassaha means like you put it on, it wasn't fitting you, but you just stuffed yourself into it. When there's something that's too tight for you, like my favorite shirt, it went into the washing machine, it came out shrunk, and it was my favorite one that I'd been wearing for 15 years with 20 holes in it, but for some reason it was so comfortable. And so I tried to fit it on, and when I fit it on, I could barely move after that, and it was only covering my neck and shoulders. But that's what, that's kind of the parabole that's being given here. The example is that he was not fit for this. And when he was not fit for it, he tried to wear it, but it did not fit him. And so therefore, when you look at, for example, there's incidents where, right after, for example, the holiest messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, you will find that, like people like from Quraysh and like, for example, Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib and others, they came forward and said, we also have a right. We have a right to some miras. We have a right to some things. And so, like the amama, the abakaba of the holiest messenger. And, and there was an incident where Amir al-Mu'mineen took that, and when he put it on Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, it came and fit onto their head exactly when he put the abakaba on them, although they were children at the time. So the idea that, the garments, the abakaba, amama, nalen of the holiest messenger will fit his successors no matter what their size is, no matter what their age is. Because this is the virsa, and this is not ordinary clothing. Whatever comes in contact with them becomes very significant. It becomes very special. When you look at the event of Miraj, you see that Sidratul Muntaha is the place that comes after the 7 earths and the 7 arz and the 7 samawat. And after that you have the Jannah layers, and then you have the Arsh, and then you have the Kursi, and then above that you have Sidratul Muntaha. And there's actually one hadith which talks about 26 realms after which comes the Arsh and the Kursi, and then Sidratul Muntaha. And Muntaha means intaha, and intaha means the extent, it means the limit. We don't know what the limit is. Right now we are looking at the universe, and we are at least humble enough to, when we put out our 2 telescopes into the universe and we see the universe, we say this is the observable universe. So whatever we're seeing in terms of the, whether it's 90 billion light years of diameter that we're seeing right now, 90 billion light years, this is the observable universe. We realize that we don't even know the shape of this alam. We don't know what it's like. We think it's like this shape, we think it's that shape, we think it's round like a chapati or like a naan, or we think it's like a tarboos, We have different ideas, but we don't really know. So the shape of it, who would know who's gone beyond that? So if they had asked him when he said saluni qabla an tafqiduni, and when he said saluni an tarqus samawat wal arz, ask me about the ways of the heavens and the ways of the earth, because I know the ways of the heavens more than the ways of the earth. Ali wali mil gaye, mashallah. And so, and sometimes people take that, I don't know what people take that to mean, because he says, Inni alamu tarkis samawati min talqir ars. I know more the ways of the skies than the ways of the earth. Someone might think it's like Shaeba saying, I know the ways of Mississauga more than the ways of San Antonio, because I only know 1 or 2 roads here so far, but I know many roads in Mississauga. And that is not what he is saying. He is the one who knows every path upon the earth as well as every path in the skies. And he is saying, كُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. We have counted everything and we have put it into Imam Mubin. It is said that Amir al-Mu'mineen is going, and he is going with Hazrat Ammar and Abu Zar and Salman, and they pass by the Wadi of Namal at the time when they were traveling. And when they pass by the valley of ants, they look at the ants, and it is said that Ammar looks at the ants, and Hazrat Ammar says that Subhan is that Allah who knows the number of these ants. And at that time, Amir al-Mu'mineen puts his hand on Ammar's hand and says, don't say that, Ammar. He says, what should I say? Say, Subhan is the one who has put their number in Imam Mubin. And when he says, who is Imam Mubin? He says, Ammar, you are looking at Imam Mubin and you are asking, who is Imam Mubin? He says, كُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ. We have counted every shay and we have put it in Imam Mubin. Anything that comes under the quality of shay has been counted and has been put in Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, Ammar, I know the ants and their number and the male and the female and when they're going to be born, when they will die, what sickness they will have, what will be the cause of their death. I know what they will eat on every day of their life. So this is intelligent, this is aql, this is not AI. AI is a little different. So therefore, when you're looking at somebody who is donning a garment that he is not worthy of wearing, so that's why we said, and Sidratul Muntaha I was talking about, Intaha, and the reason I was talking about it was the significance of the garments that have touched them. And you will see that at Sidratul Muntaha, Intaha is basically the ultimate limit. Beyond that, we don't know what it is. But Hazrat Jibreel says, my wings will burn if I go beyond there. So that tells us that it might be the limit of time and space. That means Zaman and Asr, time and space, finish here. After this is what is beyond time and space. So we know that time and space is creation. And that means there must be a place outside of it as well. What is outside of our universe, we don't know. We didn't know what was outside of our solar system. We thought outside of our solar system was, actually when I was in middle school, we thought that between the earth and the moon was a vacuum. And between the earth and the sun was a vacuum. And vacuum meant nothing. There's nothing there. That's what they told me in 6th grade, and I believed them. But then they say, no, wait a minute, that's not true. It's actually dark matter and dark energy. And 99% of the universe is dark matter and dark energy. So they call it dark because they can't see it. So if you can't see something, you call it dark. To the blind one, everything is dark. That means that we can't see it with this, but maybe if you look with this, there were those who looked at Ali with this and they were blind. And there was Salman who looked at Ali with this. So we would have to ask Salman, is it dark matter and dark energy, or is it the matter of vilayat and the energy of vilayat? What is out there? 99%. We don't know. Even outside our solar system, now they say there's the Oort cloud outside of your solar system. It's a whole barrier that prevents anything from coming in and anyone from going out. You have a shell around your solar system. So this Sidratul Muntaha is where time and space might be stopping. And so Jibreel says, I'm a creation of matter in time and space. I can't go there. So who goes there? The holiest messenger goes there. He's going to where there is no time and no space. That means he is coming from where there is no time and space. That means he was before time and space. That means time and space, they were created after. أول ما خلق الله نوري, not أول ما خلق الله الأسر, أول ما خلق الله الزمان. No, Allah did not create dark matter first, dark energy first, the stars, the sun, the moon first. No, His nur was created first. So He is going, but it's not just His nur that's going. Also His tinat is going as well. Not only that, the sandals that He is wearing that are from Medina, maybe the Yemeni chadar that is with Him as well. So therefore, anything that touches these people is no longer normal anymore. It now has a very special significance. This means that the horse that they ride upon is not an ordinary horse. It can't be an ordinary horse. Because when the holiest messenger is carrying Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein on his shoulders, and he is walking through Medina, and the ashab are saying, "Oh, holiest messenger, why are you carrying this burden? Let us carry them for you." And they were trying to do that out of love. He said, "These are imams. You cannot carry the burden of imam. The burden of imam cannot be carried. That's why you need to be a messenger to carry an imam. You need to be a messenger. No ordinary person can carry the body of an imam. The weight is such that Hazrat Ibrahim's foot leaves an impression in the stone that you still have today at Maqam Ibrahim. So therefore, these are not ordinary beings. The horse that's carrying this burden, it is not ordinary. The alam that is being carried by them is not ordinary. That is why even a tear that is shed is made of water and salt. That's all it is. You can shed tears the whole day. They have no significance other than H2O, NaCl. That's it, the chemical composition, along with a few other proteins. Nothing else. But once it is shed for Hassan, now it becomes a pearl. Now it becomes a moti. Now it becomes a diamond that will shine on the day of judgment. If this alam you're holding is nisbat of the alam of Abul Fadl Abbas, this is no longer an ordinary alam. If the Zuljana is coming out and this Zuljana now is mansoob with Imam Hussein, it is no longer an ordinary horse anymore. So everything that attaches to them becomes significant. And that's why we see when he's saying that he donned the shirt of the caliphate, even though he was unworthy. وَإِنَّهُ لَيَعْلَمُ, and indeed he knew. So therefore these people knew. They did not do it unknowingly. If you don't know the Ahlul Bayt, that is different. But once you come to know them, the excuses for those who have not been introduced to them somehow. Somehow they have not been introduced to them, but you will see that that will no longer be the case. Before the Zuhur, every single human being will have been given the message. Because the message is spread through tabligh. And the command for tabligh is balligh. And balligh is such an important command because it is tabligh, and we know how important tabligh is. People like to tabligh. Some people go knocking door to door. Some people form parties, political parties, and some people are always all about tabligh. It's very important. But balligh only came once in the Holy Quran. Just once only. Balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. So therefore we see balligh is when you give the command for Amir al-Mu'mineen. This is the most important. And sometimes what happens is when you have a movement, the mission of Imam Hussein still continues. It will continue till Zuhur. It is not ended. It did not stop in Karbala. It went from Karbala to Kufa, Kufa to Sham. From Sham, it came back to Medina. From Medina, then it spread in Hijaz. From Hijaz, it spread to Iraq. From Iraq, it spread to Persia. From Persia, it spread to Russia. It spread to China. It spread to Indo-Pak. From Indo-Pak, it has spread now everywhere in the world, to San Antonio, to Houston, to Australia, to Europe, to Norway. You go to Brazil. You go to the southern ends. You go to the Arctic, you go to the Antarctic, even Alaska. Someone did Majlis in Alaska. Minus, I don't know Fahrenheit, so I don't know if I should even say the Celsius, but it's very cold, you know. And so, therefore, this mission that is continuing, and what did Imam Hussein say? He said, إِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ إِلَّا لِإِصْلَاحِ أُمَّةِ جَدِّي. I am leaving for only, إِنَّمَا. Innama means I'm only leaving for this, which means that whatever else we attach to the cause of Imam Hussein will be attached as a secondary cause, but not the primary. Whenever there's a movement, it has a primary purpose, and then there are secondary effects of that. And he is saying, Innama kharajtu. I am only leaving. Innama yuridullah. Only and only Allah's irada to keep them tahir. Innama means only and only I am leaving illa li islahi ummati jaddi. For the islah of the ummat of my holiest, yes, grandfather. And then he goes on to say, Uridu. I have an irada. Uridu an amartu bil ma'ruf wa anhaytu anil munkar. I have the intention of amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar. Now, amr bil ma'ruf is taken to mean when you are preaching the righteous cause. When you tell somebody, pray salah, give zakat, be nice to your parents, be kind to everybody. When you do all these things, this is considered to be amr bil ma'ruf. Nahi anil munkar is when you stop people, don't do this sin, don't do that sin, don't go over there, don't go over here. So therefore, when you look at these definitions, then it does not come clear what Imam Hussain went for. But if you look at the book Al-Ihtijaj Al-Tabarsi, and you will see Allama Tabarsi is quoted an incident in that. In that incident, what happens is Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq you'll see that the Holy Imam is in travel. And he finds out that Abu Hanifa finds out that the Holy Imam is in travel. And Abu Hanifa wants to go and meet him. So he goes to meet him, and there's a very long discussion. And in this discussion, what happens is the Holy Imam says to Abu Hanifa that I hear you are giving fatwa now. And he says, yes, I'm doing fatwa. And then he talks to him about fatwa. There's a long debate, after which Abu Hanifa rescinds and he says, no, I'm not doing fatwa anymore. I'm not doing that. And then he goes on to say, so then what are you doing? And then he says that I am simply giving judgments, qazi. I am a qazi now. And so then he asks him questions about judgments. And then Abu Hanifa says, no, I'm not doing qadawat anymore either. And then he says, so what are you doing? And so then he says, I am doing tafsir of the Quran. So he says, okay, then he has a debate with him about the Quran. He says, no, I'm not doing tafsir of the Quran either. So then the Imam says, what are you doing? And then he says that, well, I am reciting tarikh. I give tarikh. I talk about history. So Imam starts talking about history, and after a while he says, I don't do that either. So then he says, so then what do you do? It's a beautiful debate if you ever want to read on Al-Ihtijaj. You'll even find it in English online as well. It's probably a 3 or 4 day discussion. But to come to the last part, he finally says, I am doing amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar. And then the Imam says, okay, so what is amr bil ma'ruf for you? He says, I tell people, do good, do this, do that, do that. He says, Abu Hanifa, you have not learned the true meaning of amr bil ma'ruf. He says, what is amr bil ma'ruf? He says, amr is to give command. Ma'ruf is what is well known. Ma'ruf means the most well known. He says, when you urge people, invite them towards the one who is known in the heavens and in the earth. This is amr bil ma'ruf. And then he says, what is amr? Who is ma'ruf? He says, my Jadd Ali ibn Abi Talib Amir. How much clearer it becomes now. You will see in Ahsan al-Aqwal, there's this book about numbers, and it talks about how you need 4 gifts which you have to give to Malak al-Maut, then 4 gifts in the qabr, then 4 gifts in barzakh, and 4 gifts at sirat, and finally there's 4 gifts that you give to Allah, and the first 2 gifts you give to Allah are amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar. And what is amr bil ma'ruf? When you invite people towards Amir al-Mu'mineen, when you invite people towards Ali. So therefore, when he is saying that innama kharajtu illa li islahi ummati jaddi, and uridu, I have the intention of amr bil ma'ruf. And then Abu Hanifa says, what is nahi anil munkar then, Imam? The Imam says nahi anil munkar is keeping people away from the munkar of the vilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The topic that I have been given, it lines perfectly up with nahi anil munkar. But there also needs to be some amr bil ma'ruf along with it. And so therefore he says, إِنَّهُ لَيَعْلَمُ, he knows, they knew everything. The ones today might be confused about why Imam Hussein stood up and what he stood up for. And everything else you say comes after. Because nothing is more important than this. Oh Salman, do you know what is the most important, the ni'mat-e-uzma that Allah bestows upon people? And Salman says, oh Amirul Mu'mineen, tell me, what is it? He says, it is the marifat of my vilayat. This is the most important ni'mat. This is the ni'mat. That's why he says, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinukum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati. I'm completing my ni'mat upon you. It is one day, it is one ghadir. He is giving you ni'mat every day. He gave the Muslims ni'mat from the time of the holiest messengers first, Qulu la ilaha illallah. And for 23 years there was ni'mat, and there were victories, and there was treasure, and there was loot, and this and that, and everything. And so many ni'mat, but he's saying, no, today I have completed my favors. Completed my favors means complete. Complete means there's nothing after this. Nothing after this means I've given you everything. Means this, what I'm giving you is everything. Everything. Now your deen is complete. He doesn't say my deen. He says your deen. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Your deen. Oh Allah, is this not your deen? Is this not inna deena inda Allahi al-Islam? Allah, in the nearness of Allah, according to Allah, in Allah's eyes, the deen is Islam. Indeed, it is His deen. But He's saying, no, it's not my deen. Because this deen that does not have Ali is not my deen, He's saying. Now your deen is complete. My deen had Ali from the day one. From day one. Not from day one, sorry, that's not true. Because day one was a day with a one, day zero. From day zero. Before the Baina Adam, Baina Ma'al-Teen, when Adam was between clay and water. I was a prophet at that time. And when he was a prophet at that time, someone was bearing witness to that prophethood. قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ وَعِندَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. He's bearing witness to that prophethood from that time. So this means that their deen was complete, and that's why they knew everything. Even the ones in Karbala knew. And so there's nothing more azim than this vilayat. There is nothing harder than this vilayat. This vilayat might seem easy. I've seen many people say, why don't they believe it? What's so hard about this? Is Ali not magnificent? How can you not believe him? How can you leave him and take him? How can you leave this one and take this one? In this day and age, we don't understand, right? Have you noticed how all the leaders in front of us now, like, have you noticed it's a time of be-naqabi. It is a time when all the veils are being lifted. When I was young, we had this false idea that all presidents and all prime ministers and all kings were all good people. We had this false idea that but nowadays even the children know. They make memes about the leaders now. It's a very different age. We have no idea. That means before he comes out of the curtain, everyone will come out of the curtain. Everyone will be uncurtained. That's why they say, in our age, none of this happened. There weren't all these fights and all these groupings and everything. I said they were there, but there was a hijab. Now the hijab is being lifted. Now everyone's iman is written on their face. Everybody knows what everybody believes. It's all unveiled now. It's all there. It's all clear. So therefore everybody is coming out. And now what you see is, now when we look at these leaders, we look at them and we say, how can you, how did you vote for this one? How did you vote for that one? And the country I'm coming from, how did you vote for that one a second time? After the first time, how did you vote for them a second time and a third time? Like how does that happen? So we don't understand. How do you leave Ali and take this one? Here there is beauty, there is magnificence, there is courage, there is knowledge, there is wisdom, there is sagacity, there is holiness, there is purity, there is valor, there is honor, there is truth, there is justice. Every good you can think of is found here. And here there is nothing. There's nothing. There's a 0-meter sword. There's horses that have run up mountains. There's nothing. Then how did it happen? How is it even possible? This is the miracle of Allah. This is the greatest miracle. It is not a miracle that you believe in Him. It's a miracle how you don't believe in Him. This shows power. This shows you power. You see, let me tell you what power is. Imagine if I say to you, there is no sun. And now, from now on, when you go outside and you look at the sun and you say, no, there's no sun in the sky. I don't see any sun. But there's 5 people who see the sun. They didn't believe me. They didn't fall into my hypnosis. They're saying there's the sun, and there is a sun. So it's not amazing that they're saying there's a sun. What's amazing is that the other 95 people are saying there is no sun. So believing in Ali, it seems easy to us because, it comes like that, but it's not easy. First of all, you needed to have a pure lineage. That means pure lineage. Nikah, halal. Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, all the way up to Hazrat Adam. And that's how many generations? That's hundreds of generations of pure nikahs. Going from pure womb to pure loins to pure womb to pure loins. And then you are birthed into the lap of a mu'minah. And then you are given the milk by someone who believes in vilayat. You are coming to the farsh azhar from this young age. And so for you it might seem easy, but it's not easy. And that's why you'll see that. The Quran, what does it say? It says, وَأُشْرِبُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْعِجْرَةِ. And we fed them love for the calf. When the people of Bani Israel, they refused, because what happens is Hazrat Musa goes, he leads Hazrat Harun. They don't take Hazrat Harun, they take the calf, the gosala, the ijl. They take the ijl and they leave Harun. So this is setting up a principle for you. The Quran is not just about Bani Israel. The hadith says that my ummah will follow the ways of Bani Israel in such a manner that they will put their foot wherever the footsteps of Bani Israel landed. If Bani Israel took a rock from here and put it here, they will take a rock from here and put it over here. They will follow every sunnah, not in a good way. The Bani Israel will not talked about in a good way in the Quran. And so therefore, this means that even in the Holy Prophet's time, if he goes, he is Musa, and who he leaves is Harun. If you leave Harun and you take someone else, that someone else is the Gosala. That someone else is the calf. That someone else is the Ijl. It's the principle. The principle is that Harun is left. If you don't take him, then you're taking the calf. And it says, وَأُشْرِبُوا. It says that because they took the calf, we fed them love for the calf into their hearts. So now you see why some others can be loved, why people are willing to die for them, they're willing to sacrifice their families for them. Anything you say against them, they will not stand it. They will come and they will go against you big time in every way they can. And this is the love they have. So don't be surprised about the love they have. The reason they have that love is because it has been fed into their hearts. And this is the miracle of Allah. That means your qalb is the place. Your qalb is not your heart. Your qalb is not your fuad. Your fuad is the chamber that pumps blood. You have 4 chambers and they pump blood. It's a muscular system. You call it the myocardium. This is your heart. This is fuad. Qalb is something else. Qalb is metaphysical. Qalb is metaphysical, which means that it takes iman. It takes nur. It takes ilm. It takes hilm. It takes hub of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Hub of the Ahlul Bayt. Ma'rifat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. It doesn't live here. This is just a computer. This is like a ChatGPT. It's just zeros and ones. That's all it is. Your qalb is where everything is seated. That's why it says, لَيْسَ الْعِلْمَ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. The hadith of Al-Qatra says, ilm is not that which you have learned. إِنَّمَا هُوَ نُورٌ يَقَعَ عَلَى قَلْبِ الْمُؤْمِنِ. It is indeed a light that is bestowed upon the qalb of a mu'min, the one whom Allah has intended to guide. So this means that if Allah intends to guide you, you will have ilm. That's why you'll go to university, you'll see people with 3 PhDs, but they will still be atheists because they have information, they don't have ilm. Ilm is something else. It's here, it's not here. It needs to go from here to here. Ali is heard by your ears. It's a sound wave, but it transmits into your eardrum as vibration. That Ali becomes vibration. That Ali goes into your cochlear nerve and becomes electrical impulse. And then that Ali goes into your parietal lobe and you make sense of it. But if it stays here, it's information. It has to pass into here. That's why this throat is where Ali gets stuck sometimes. This is also like Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's why you have a narrow constricting area between your brain and your qalb, because it's not easy to pass through. And Surah Al-Anfal says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O those who believe, Istajibu lillahi, say labbaik, give an answer to Allah, wa li rasuli, and to His Messenger, idha da'akum, when they invite you, lima yuhyikum, to that which will give you life. And they asked the Imam, they said, what is this verse and who is it talking about? Were they not walking around? Were they not alive? Who was being invited to this? Was it for the people in the grave? He said, no, it was for the people in Ghadir. They were being invited to this. What were they being invited to? Tafsir al-Burhan and your fifth holy Imam has narrated this. He says they were being invited to the vilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, which will give them hayat, which will give them life. وَعَلَمُوا and know, وَعَلَمُوا and know, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَحُولُ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَقَلْبِهِ. Allah will come in between the human and his qalb. If I say that, it is shirk. If Allah says that, it becomes tawheed. So therefore, Allahu Akbar, that means He can do what He wants and say what He wants. He doesn't literally come between you and your qalb. But if He's saying, I come between the person and the qalb, that means He is the one who is deciding what will enter into your qalb and what will not. And therefore, Ali will not enter into your qalb unless you believe in Allah. So therefore, the one who is saying Ya Ali already believes in Allah. He has already passed that test. امتحن قلبه للإيمان وشرح صدره للإسلام. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Ammar, not everyone will accept my vilayat. It is very heavy. Very heavy. Heavy, he says. La yatahammilhu. The one cannot carry it. It is a burden. That means when you carry something that is heavy, you carry it like a burden. You start to, when you're carrying a heavy suitcase and you have to walk across the airport, you don't have a trolley or maybe the wheel's broken, your face, or you go to the gym. Anybody go to the gym here? Gymmers, weightlifters, you go to the gym and then what happens? Your face goes red. You breathe, you take in your breaths, and then you lift the weight. It's not easy. It shows on the face. That is why when people are given too much Ali than they can handle, it starts to show on the face. The burden, the weight. That is why you give to the other person as much Ali as they can handle. You don't need to overburden. Nice and easy, sweet and slow, sweet steps. And that's the way, with love and care. That's how it should be done. Sometimes what happens is people, they go against each other. No, not like that. And one man came to our holy Imam and said, in the place where we live, there are people who don't believe in you like we believe in you. And the Imam said, what do you mean? They don't believe in your vilayat like we believe in your vilayat. What do you mean? They don't believe in your authority like we believe in your authority. We believe you can do this. They don't believe you can do this. They take you more ordinary, and we believe in you at this level. And then the Imam says, so what do? We don't talk to them. We don't associate with them. We have distanced ourselves from them. We don't marry into them. We don't go to their houses. We don't pray with them. We don't talk to them. The Imam said, why? Because you have more ma'rifah than them? And they said, yes, we have more ma'rifah than them. The Imam said, who has more ma'rifah, me or you? And who has more ma'rifah? And Imam said, should I distance myself from you because you don't know Ali like I know Ali? And then they say, no, you should not. Then what should we do, Holy Imam? He says, whenever you see someone who does not know Ali like you know, hold his hand, talk to him gently, because you are at the 3rd step and maybe he's at the 2nd step. You are at the 7th step, maybe he's at the 6th step. In this world there are 70 levels. 70 levels, and Salman reached level 70. One in history we know who reached 70. In the hadith this hadith that I'm talking about, the Imam doesn't talk about more than 5 steps of 70. He says someone's been given 2, someone 3, someone 4, someone 5. And when the one at 5 listens to the one at 4, if you're at 5 and you listen to the one at 4, you know right away. Right away you know. Okay, this person is not, I have to take it easy. So then what you do is you carry them gently up to level 5. And then the Imam says Allah will send someone to you who's at 6th step. And he will carry you up to 5th step. And then someone will carry them up to the 6th step. So we hold each other's hands in unity and love, and we increase in our marifah. That's how we continue forward. So therefore, when we're looking at La yatahammilhu, it's not easy to hold this weight. And that's the miracle, and that's why I have been blessed with this opportunity where I get to talk about Ma'rifah of Amirul Mu'mineen and look at people's faces. And when I look at people's faces lighting up, I'm thinking that this is supposed to be a burden. Mawla said, La yatahammilhu. They cannot carry this weight, but the faces don't go red. The faces smile. It doesn't look like you're carrying a weight. You know how astonishing that is? That would be like if there's 1,000 kilos and somebody picks it up and they're just smiling. And they're just sitting there for 1 hour. 1 घंटे फजाइल हो रहे हैं. 1 घंटे बैठे हैं. 1000 kilo वजन. And after that they're like, इतना हल्का मैंने कभी महसूस ही नहीं किया. So it's not easy. It's not easy. لا يتحمله. لا يتحمله. To carry a burden with a smile, this is a miracle. This means that Allah has put it into your heart. ليس عليك هداهم. It is not the burden of hidayat upon you, O Habib. ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. And whoever Allah wants, He will guide. That's why when we want guidance, why do we say it? 10 times a day, it is wajib upon you to ask, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Guide us to what? صراط المستقيم. They asked the holiest messenger, أين صراط المستقيم? Where is صراط المستقيم? Where? Not who, but where. اسكت اجلس انظر. Sit down, be quiet and wait. Sit down, be quiet and wait. This khutbah shakshiki has about 3 people. The same 3 people asked, and the same 3 people were told, sit down and wait. Sit down and wait. अल्लाह अकबर. जिसको हुक्म है कि बैठ के इंतजार करो सिरात मुस्तकीम का, वो खुद सिरात मुस्तकीम बनने चले. अल्लाह And then the one who was always a shadow with the holiest messenger was not there for this occasion because Allah wanted them to wait for him. And then after everyone sat in silence, uncomfortable silence, looking at each other, what is going on? How long do we have to wait? When is this going to happen? When is he going to tell us where is Sirat-e-Mustaqim? They thought it was like I-95 or some 595 or some highway. Like, you know, we'll find it and then we'll take that quick route. We'll go pay toll and we'll end up in Jannah. And he said, no, not Aina, Huwa, Man Huwa. He said, Hada, Hada. Comes in the door, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Hada Sirat al-Mustaqim. So we do ask Iyyaka nasta'in, we ask you for help. And the help we ask you for is guide us to Ali. هذا صراط المستقيم ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدون الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط المستقيم. Worship me. Here is Ali. He will show you. He will show you. Without Ali, everything is shirk. Without Ali, everything is shirk. दावा नहीं, दलील पे दलीलें हैं, आएंगी, लेकिन आपके हसीन चेहरों को देख के, क्योंकि मेरे मौला ने कहा था, I keep on switching back to Urdu, I can't help it. There's something, but tomorrow. Amir al-Mu'mineen was asked, what is the most beautiful thing in the world? And I thought he would say the mountains or the flowers or the skies, the rain or the spring or the rivers or the lakes or the butterfly or so many things, so many beautiful things. He says the face. The face. I didn't understand. I said the face. I've seen some not so pretty faces. I've seen some not so pretty faces. How is my master saying this is the most beautiful thing? How can it be the most beautiful thing? I don't understand, master. And I stayed up all night wondering. I did not understand. It was just the next day I went for a majlis. And as soon as I said Amir al-Mu'mineen's name, I saw faces light up. And I said, now I understand what the most beautiful thing is. This is the most beautiful thing. I said, Master, I have not found anything more beautiful than the face that lights up at your name. And I have never seen anything uglier than the face that frowns upon your name. Nahy anil munkar, amr bil ma'ruf. And so therefore he says, innahu la ya'lamu. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, he knew what my position was. He knew, but even then. And that is why, when you look at Karbala, now we can attach many secondary causes to Imam Hussein's mission. And yes, Imam Hussein did save humanity. He did save Islam. He did save the prayer. He did save zakat. He saved everything, no doubt, no doubt. But the primary cause, and that's why he asked him in Karbala, he said, why do you want to kill me? Have I been a bad imam? Have I turned haram to halal? Have I taken your rights? Have I usurped your rights? They only had one answer for him. They had no other answer. They could not say anything because perfection was standing in front of them. The Hujjat of Allah, the son of the daughter of the holiest messenger, the son of Ali. And they said, Bughzan li abik. Bughz for your father. Hatred for your father. This is why we have gathered. 17 nations, 123 tribes, hundreds of thousands of people gathered. Why? For this hatred. They all knew who they were fighting against. They knew when they usurped the caliphate. Umar ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas knew as well. He knew. He said that, I know that Hussein is on the right, but what he is promising me is much later. And what Yazid is promising me, Ibn Ziyad is promising me, I can get right now. Imam Hussein said, you will not get a grain from the land of Ray. You will not taste a grain from the land of Ray. And they knew. And did it end with Amir al-Mu'mineen? No. Then they had to martyr his sons. Did it end with his sons? No. 18 of his sons. 18 of his sons. It didn't end there. Then what happened? Then there's grandchildren. Grandchildren, little children. It is said that different narrations give 65 to 170 little children of Bani Hashim who had gone with Imam Hussein. He did not go to fight. The one who goes to fight does not take his family with them. When we go anywhere dangerous in the world, we don't want to take our family with us, not let alone to war. And then what happens? How many of them reach Sham? 2. And then how many reach Medina? 1. We see 1. And what is the situation in Sham? The situation in Sham is that there are 7 doors to Sham. It is a walled city. And for 3 days a festival has been going on. And they have invited people from all outlying lands. Come, and you will see the Baghi, you will see the rebellious ones. You'll see the ones whom we have become victorious against. And who was it? One young man with the women of the household of the holiest prophet, with nothing to cover their heads with, and their hands tied behind their neck, upon camels without saddles, and they were brought to Sham. When they were brought to Sham, they were told that you must wait here because Yazid is not ready yet. Why is he not ready? His crown still has some jewels that need to be laid in, so then he will put his crown on, and then he will stand upon the door, and then from there they will enter. Where should they be? Keep them outside the gates for 3 days. For 3 days under the open sky, the hot burning sun, the cold nights, the Ahl-e Haram waited. They waited while they saw people after people entering into that city. The daughters of Ali are looking at that city. Who are these daughters of Ali? These are the daughters who, when Amir al-Mu'mineen went to Kufa to take the caliphate, it is said that he went alone and he told Imam Hassan, bring my daughters and my household afterwards with you. And it is said that Amir al-Mu'mineen was in Kufa when Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain and Mawla Abul Fadl Abbas came, and they came with the holy daughters of Imam Ali. At that time there was a mahmil upon the camel, there was a curtain upon the mahmil. The daughter of Ali is in that curtain. It is said that Imam Hassan goes in and tells Amir al-Mu'mineen that we have come. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, wait, don't come in yet, wait until Maghriban. Wait until it's dark. I don't want my daughters coming into the city with all these people while it is light. And it is said that when it was dark, Amir al-Mu'mineen said to the people of Kufa, go into your homes and shut your bazaar, for now my daughters are coming. And it is said that Amir al-Mu'mineen came outside and he held the reins of the camel of Bibi Zainab himself, and he walked with his daughter as he went in. And when he went in, he said, oh Zainab, look, you see this? This is the gate of Kufa. This is Bab-e Kufa. And then they went a little forward and he said, look, this is the bazaar of Kufa. Then they went a little forward and said, this is Darul Amara of Kufa. The holy daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen says, my dear father, I don't understand why you are telling me these things. These things are meant to be told to your sons. And he looks at her and he says that, don't you know that maybe one day this information will come in hand for you? And it is said, Allahu Akbar, it is said that when they are waiting outside, they see all of the hujum that was found in Sham. And then when they tried to enter, there were so many people that even the soldiers of Yazid could not enter. And they went to one gate and a second gate and a third. They had to go all around to all 7 gates. Then Yazid said, I'm sitting upon this one. I want them to enter from here. As they entered from there, the people of Sham were throwing stones at the holy heads that came. And the first head that came was none other than the head of Imam Hussain. And when Imam Hussein's head would be in front, it would be the first one to catch a stone upon its head. And it is said that after this, the next head that came in was the head of this beautiful young prince whose name was Ali al-Akbar. And it is said that when they looked at him, the women of Sham looked at that head and they said, I pray that this mother is not alive, that she did not see his martyrdom. They did not know that the mother of Ali Akbar was walking right next to that head as they were passing by. And then came the head of Shahzada Qasim, and then the heads of Anna Muhammad. It is said that when one head came, all the people who were shouting and screaming became suddenly silent. It is said they were stunned and awestruck with silence. It was the head of a 6-month-old child. The head of a 6-month-old child they saw. When the disbelief filled their eyes, they could not believe what they were seeing. And blessed is the mother who was walking under that head and kept on looking at her thirsty son, wondering if my son is still thirsty. It is said that when they went finally past the bazaar and they came to the darbar and they waited, they were not allowed in. 700 people were being seated. As they were waiting, it is said that one man came up and he recognized the head of Imam Hussein. And he was a companion of the holiest messenger. He went up to Imam Zainul Abidin and he said that I am a companion of your grandfather. If there is anything I can do, please let me know. Because this head that I am seeing, this head used to be kissed by the holy messenger. He said, right now I am seeing this head on a spear. I saw him always upon the shoulder of the holy prophet. Is there anything I can do for you? And then it is said that Imam Sajjad asked Bibi Zainab. Bibi Zainab said that if you have any money, give it to these people so they take these heads and they move them away from us so that people stop looking at us. So that people stop looking at us. Allahu Akbar. And it is said that they sat down and they were waiting and everyone was waiting. Do you know Bibi Zainab was the one who would tell everybody that don't worry, I am here. She would give condolences and give strength, whether it was to the mother of Qasim or the mother of Ali Akbar or to Sayyid al-Sajjad. But she would always give them strength. But it is said before they entered into the Darbar of Sham, this holy woman sat down on the ground. Everyone else was ready to go, but she kept on looking back. And when she was looking back, it looked as if she was looking for someone. And when she was looking for someone, no one knew what was happening. But she remembered that when her father's last breaths were being taken, and he had said, Zainab, there will come a time when you have to leave with Hussein. She said, Father, I will leave. He said, you will have to see Hussein's head upon a spear. Father, I will go with that head. You will have to go to Kufa and Sham. I will go to Kufa and Sham. The spear point will be attacked upon you and then your rida will be taken. She said, Father, I will go. You will have to enter into the palace of Yazid where 700 will be sitting. This is where Bibi Zainab said, oh my dear father, tell me, will you be with me? He said, yes, of course I will be with you. And the daughter of Ali was waiting for Ali, and then when she saw him, she stood up and she said, oh my Sajjad, now let us enter. فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ أَلَا لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ.
Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Rabbi koi masooma zinda min tanha ho 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 badna ho aaye hai badna ho aaye rone pe na pera ho Ya Rabbi koi masooma zinda min tanha ho Ya Rabbi koi masooma zinda min tanha ho Ya Rabbi koi masooma जिंदान, हाय जिंदा दर जिंदान, उसके लिए कज़ा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो। जिंदानों से आती थी आवाज सकने की, जिंदानों से आती थी आवाज सकने की, जैसे के सकीना को, हाय जैसे के सकीना को हर जिंदा न रो रहा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो। टकराए न वो क्यों कर जिंदा की दीवारों से, टकराए न वो क्यों कर जिंदा की दीवारों से, भाई से और पुपी से, हाय भाई से और पुपी से, जिसको जुदा किया हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा में तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा में तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा में तन्हा हो। जिन्नान में नजफी याद आए सकीना की, जिंदान में नजफी याद आए सकीना की, दिल रो रो कह रहा है, हाय दिल रो रो कह रहा है, अपना उजाला हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा, जिंदा मेरा तन्हा हो। हुसैन या 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 हुसैन।
सकीना को याद आया वो सीना,
जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिस सीने पे सोती थी है जिस सीने पे सोती थी मासूम सकीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 जिस सीने पे सोती थी हर, जिस सीने पे सोती थी मासूम सकीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 घर कर से जरा जाले बाबा को न रोऊंगी, मैं गोद में मादर की आराम से सोऊंगी, तेरे बलैनों ने है तेरे बलैनों ने फरियाद सुनी ना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 है मौत की खामोशी तारीख ये जिंदा में, क्या जुर्म किया लोगों मासूम सीने वाले, कोई और तो मासूमा है, कोई और तो मासूमा यूं कैद हुई ना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, हर वक्त चमकता था करबल में मदीने में, तावीज़ की मालिक था शबीर के सीने में, गुम हो गया वो कैसे है, गुम हो गया वो कैसे जिंदा में नगीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 जिस सीने पे सोती थी है जिस सीने पे सोती थी मासूम सकीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 है दश्ते अजल रुक जा बीमार को आने दे, बाबा के लिए कोई जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। रुख सारे मैं नाना को महशर में दिखाऊंगी, दाद में जिंदा की रो रो के सुनाऊंगी। पाबंदी है रोने पे, पाबंदी है रोने पे, कहना है कमीना। जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। कर तरफ जरा डाले बाबा को न रोंगी, मैं गोद में मदर की आराम से सोऊंगी। तेरे मिलइनों ने फरियाद सुनी ना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। या अल्लाह खैर अमल, 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 या अल्लाह खैर अमल। हाय शाम, हाय हाय ज़ैनब, हाय हाय शाम, हाय हाय ज़ैनब, हाय हाय शाम, हाय हाय ज़ैनब, हाय हाय शाम, हाय मासूमा हाय जिंदान, हाय मासूमा हाय जिंदान, हाय मासूमा हाय जिंदान, हाय मासूमा हाय जिंदान। या हुसैन, 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 या हुसैन। मोहम्मद मोहम्मद बुलंद
अस्सलामु अलैका या नबी अल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या रसूल अल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या हबीब अल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या बायतुल हुदा, अस्सलामु अलैका या रहमतुल लिल आलमीन, अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अस्सलामु अलैका या अबा अब्दिल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न रसूलिल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न अमीरुल मुमिनीन व इब्न सय्यिदिल वसिय्यीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न फातिमतुज़-ज़हरा सय्यदति निसाइल आलमीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या ज़ैनब कुबरा बिन्त अमीरुल मुमिनीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या सानिया ज़हरा बिन्त सय्यदति निसाइल आलमीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या गाज़ी अबुल फ़ज़्ल अल अब्बास या इब्न अमीरुल मुमिनीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या अब्दुस सालिह अल मतीउ लिरसूलिल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैकुम हुसैन वबरकातुहू। अस्सलामु अलैका या गरीबल गुरबा, अस्सलामु अलैका या मुईनल ज़ुअफ़ाए वल फ़ुक़रा, अस्सलामु अलैका या अनीसन नुफ़ूस, अस्सलामु अलैका अय्युहल मदफ़ून बिअर्ज़ि दूस, अस्सलामु अलैका या सुल्तान अबुल हसन या अली इब्न मूसा रज़ा अर्राज़ी बिल क़द्र वल क़ज़ा व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अस्सलामु अलैका या साहिबल असर वज़ ज़मान, अल अमान अल अमान अल अमान मिन फितनिज़ ज़मान। अस्सलामु अलैका या खलीफतर रहमान, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमामल इंस वल जान, अस्सलामु अलैका या शरीकल कुरआन, अस्सलामु अलैका या कामिल कुफ्र वत तुग़यान, अस्सलामु अलैका या दाफ़िअ ज़ुल्म वल उद्वान, अस्सलामु अलैका या मज़हरल ईमान। सय्यदी अज्जलल्लाहु तआला फरजा व सहलल्लाहु तआला मखरजा व ज़हूरक व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
ये लाइन कहाँ
ज़ैनबिया से ये कहाँ से बंद होगा?
बंद करेंगे, बंद करेंगे। ओके कर लेंगे।